we're gonna talk about something I feel you're gonna love.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's kind of political.
Good.
Kind of. It's political and it's what the fuck are these people thinking? So I had a conversation with my sister last night about Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was a very short conversation, mind you. Because I admittedly know very little about the woman. I know the big broad strokes,
Sure.
just like Carrie Lake, whom I probably know a little more about because Nevada and
In
Arizona
Arizona.
border each other. So
And you
if
lived here, yeah.
if
She
you
was on
guys
the
are
news when you
doing
lived here.
crazy batshit stuff in Arizona, it affects us over here in Nevada. So,
Mhm. Yep, get it.
but we were having this conversation, and then I felt my sister gave up on me and just got frustrated, and that ended the conversation. So I want to ask you this question, and I
Mm.
want an honest answer.
Okay.
Is what in the heck literally can go on in the minds of these people that just get to that point where it's so batshit crazy? I mean, isn't there a moment where
Power.
there is that it? It's power?
100%. 100%.
So it's
A
not, that's what
thousand.
I was trying to tell her is I don't think it's real honest feelings of these people. I feel that they're like who I Bill O'Reilly. Like I never felt Bill O'Reilly actually believed 1/100th of the bullshit that he said. I think he just said it because he was getting response back and his
And
ratings were
ratings.
going up.
Well,
And
and we came from that world where ratings are
yeah,
king, right, or queen. And in Congress, somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene is now fairly powerful because Kevin McCarthy, who is trying to be head of the Senate, needs those votes. And I think he can only afford to lose like four, maybe eight of them, something like that. And they're basically saying, like, look, if you don't do what we want, you're not going to be Speaker of the House. So they have a lot of power, and she raises a fuck ton of money. And along with that money comes power. And she is 100. Now, I'm not saying I don't know her clearly. I don't know what's in her head. She probably does agree with some of this crazy batshit stuff. Like, I'm sure there's a portion, like, I don't think you could totally put it out there without at least believing some of it. But I think they embellish it 100%. Like, at the core, she probably doesn't like Joe Biden. At her core, she is probably pro-life. At the core, she is
right.
probably, you know, anti-gay marriage and anti-interracial marriage, and probably a little bit of a racist, if you can just be a little bit of a racist,
Yeah.
right? But for her to think that, you know, that Democrats are like killing babies and sucking their blood, and no, absolutely fucking not. Like, I mean, if she does, she needs to be locked away and not be in Congress. But I do think that at the core, she knows saying that crazy shit is going to get her money, which is going to make her more powerful in Congress. And
But
it also, the crazier shit they say, the more airtime they get.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That is again something else I don't
Look at Trump.
understand.
Look at Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, he built that runway for people, right? It was like he talked about Mexicans and being rapists and drug dealers and this, and then he gets more airtime. And then people go, well, oh, he's too crazy. No one will vote for him. And clearly people do, because there are people who genuinely believe those things. And then they go, oh, they're just saying what I think, or that they're saying, or even if they don't agree, they're like, oh, well, at least he's not like a normal politician who sugarcoats everything and says everything politically correctly, because there's this anti wokeness and anti being politically correct, where it's
Yeah.
like, no, how about just being a fucking decent human being?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? So
Mm.
that was my argument to her. And I'm not saying she disagreed with me. I'm just saying she was tired of hearing me say it.
And I could be wrong. I mean, honestly, I could be super wrong. It's
But
just,
if you aren't wrong, and I'm not wrong, then what we're really saying is these people are so far gone
mhm.
mentally and en masse, because I'm not going to say his name right. It's the Klepper guy on the Daily Show. Jordan Klepper. Oh my God.
He's so
So
good.
funny.
His videos are
I'm
hilarious.
in love with him in the sense that I mean, not in the naughty sense. In the I
Intellectual.
wish I could be as smart as him. Like, oh my God, God does make smart people. Like, he's brilliant. He's quick. I'm like, I love it. But I watch a lot of his, Trump rally stuff, and the stuff
Oh,
that these people spout. I want to, and I know he's thinking the same thing. It's just like, look me in the eye and tell me you really believe JFK Jr. is still alive and that he is running the elections, or are just this crazy. I'm just like, but it's literally the definition of crazy. Like, we throw that word crazy around a lot. Like, I'm in a cat
mhm.
group called Crazy Cat Ladies, and there's been debate about whether we should change the name, but
I say
literally
embrace that
crazy.
shit. Well, I think, yeah, I agree with you that the term crazy is thrown around, but this is where I totally blame Fox News and blame like, and now, you have people, like I was talking to someone in the last couple of weeks that was like, I don't even read the news anymore because I don't know what's real.
Yeah, interesting. Well, you got like no news at all, or just Fox News?
No, I just don't think any news at all. Like,
Oh,
just doesn't read it. It's like, I don't have time to fact check. I don't have time to see, and because there's all this question about what's real. And I totally blame Russia and Fox News for that shit, and all the Murdoch Corporation, because that's the beginning of the end of a democracy, right? Is this belief that what we are being told, because basically the job of the media is to hold people accountable,
yes,
specifically politicians.
yes,
And I mean, I don't know if you followed it at all, the Herschel Walker and Warnock race in
of course.
Georgia,
I
but
donated money even. That's how much I followed that race.
yeah, and one of the things that I actually really appreciated at the end of the race was Walker's speech, like when he actually bowed out of the race and accepted that he had lost and said, pray. I mean, I'm not into prayer, but like he was like, all of you prayed for me, now pray for our other politicians and believe in the election and believe in our political system and the Constitution. And it was like, thank you.
Yeah,
He's not doing what Carrie Lake did. He's not doing what some of these politics, and most of them aren't actually. I think a lot of them just talked a lot of shit because clearly, Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania didn't fight the results. Dr. Oz didn't fight the results. All these people who kept saying that they were going to didn't.
yeah. Well, that's because there was nothing wrong with the results.
No.
I mean, because and I know this because we have a Republican um governor now that was not the incumbent. So if I'm accepting that, it is what it is, right? I'm not thrilled to death about it. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I mean, thank God we still have our Democratic senator. That's what I was really worried about. But it worked out
She won.
like nobody thought she would. As a matter of fact, they kept writing us off. Like, Nevada is
Mhm.
red. I'm like, so, but I, and I don't know. It's funny you blame Fox, and I do too. But me, I don't have dealings with Fox at all unless it's football, which I realize is hypocritical, which is one of my topics we're going to talk about one day. But excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was watching my normal Today show when I was getting ready. I actually wasn't getting ready. I was dying on my couch, but I still was watching the
Mhm.
Today show. And it was when oh my God, why am I having trouble with first names? Grainer, the basketball player, came home.
Oh, Brittany Griner.
Brittany. Um, and it was the other guy didn't get to come home, the guy that's still stuck there. And
Mhm.
I remember I heard them say on national network news that should be bipartisan.
Mhm.
Many people are upset that he's not coming home as well. I'm like, no, everybody's upset he's not coming home, number one, but we're not upset at Biden or Brittney or anybody else other than Russia.
Mhm.
And bullshit, people are upset. Bullshit, like the way they were trying to communicate it. And I remember just thinking, literally, you're just trying to stir the pot. That's what you're doing. You're
Of
stirring
course.
the
Well,
fucking pot.
that's well, and people, I mean, I only read a little bit on social media because I have such a hard time with it, but like right when I logged in, someone we used to actually work with at the radio station said something about like you never leave someone behind.
Oh
And
my
it was
gosh.
kind of a fuck Brittney Griner thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's that. I'm like, screw her. Is that what you're
I
saying?
know. Well, and the fact is, it's like Paul Whelan was not on the table. He
No.
wasn't an option. It was like either we got Brittney Griner home or no one. Like
Yeah.
he was not an option. And it's partly because the Russians aren't stupid. They're going to use him for someone else.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
Right. And it has nothing to do with nobody caring about him.
Of course not. And I love that his family came out and said, we totally support Griner
Yes.
coming home and we're happy she's with her family. And like, but I mean, I feel like it's the same people who, who are complaining about Brittney Griner coming back are the same people who complain about paying for student loan debt for people.
Yeah,
It's the
probably.
same fucking people.
But
Like,
I'm like, I don't care what they think. Like, why are we talking about other people? And that was one of the things that let's go back to the original, which is reporting on the news, which is Brittney Griner is coming home.
mhm.
We got one more there. We probably have 10 more there. Who knows how many people we have in other countries in prison. Now, did Brittney break the law?
Yeah,
She did.
she did.
Yeah.
And that's where like I have a little bit of an issue sometimes because it's like that is the responsibility of you as a traveler when you are going to, especially going to
Agreed.
a country like Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and especially you as a Black queer woman. I
Yeah.
mean, you need to take extra fucking precaution, girl. Like they don't want you there to begin with.
Yeah. But above and beyond that, it's your responsibility.
As an adult, 100%.
Now, did I think their laws are a little nutty and the punishment was way far beyond the actual crime? Sure, I did.
100%.
Of course I do. And I'm glad
But
she's coming home.
this is a country that literally like in prison the guy that ran against Putin and
Yeah.
criticized him. I mean, he's like been in prison for years.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go to Russia. I actually don't have any desire to travel in general, which I know I'm the crazy one. I get it. But we can get angry that they were in jail, but they did break that country's laws. And we don't get to break any laws we feel like it just because we're the United States of America, right? We don't want people coming here and breaking our laws.
That's right.
So let's start there. Was the punishment way worse than the crime? Fuck yes. Am I glad she's coming home? Am I glad she's home? Absolutely. Thank God. Do I want the other guy to come home? Absolutely. Right? I mean,
100%.
yeah.
It's not an either or.
Yeah. But it was just like to me, it's all of these crazy things. And I'm like, again, because I hate this word, the word blame, right? I don't love that word. We've had many discussions about the word blame, but I look at what these people are saying, and I mean, like the Carrie Lakes of the world that are literally just, I mean, like I hear the words coming out of her mouth, and I'm watching her move them, so I am making the assumption she's actually saying this shit, and I'm like, really? I mean, like, let's close the door. Do you really, really believe what you are saying? Like, truly? Is this something that and then if not, why are you unfortunately connecting with these other people that may not be as educated or as clear-minded or any as you, and now they're believing you.
Because she wants to win.
I
And there are
just,
people
but
that
she
have
didn't.
no bottom and are willing to do anything in order to just straight up win.
Yeah, but I guess I don't understand that. I don't, and I'm willing to say, and maybe that's why I'm never going to be in politics, is I just don't understand. I can't connect. You're not doing your job. Your job is to govern for the people. And that's all people.
Yeah, but we're a judgmental fucking society. Like, I would never run because I've smoked, I inhaled, I've snorted, I've done everything. I've tripped, I've done mushrooms, and I loved every single fucking moment of it, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't change any of it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't either, because that's what makes you you. Right?
Yeah, but the problem is, and that's part of the problem with politicians or politics. It's like now, granted, that was 40 years ago or 30 years ago at this point with Bill Clinton, where he's like, oh, I didn't inhale.
I didn't
I mean, one thing I'll
Yes,
give
you
George
did.
Bush, yeah, motherfucking liar. But it's like the one thing I will always give George Bush, like the one and only thing. I'm sure there's a few others if I'm being fair, but like he just immediately acknowledged that he did cocaine and you never even heard about it.
Yeah.
Same with Obama. I mean, it was like they had both acknowledged it early on that when they were in college. And
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that about either of them.
It was one time, but it was like early on, and then it's like it went away.
Yeah.
Now, he went to AA meetings. George Bush went to AA meetings like all the time.
Yeah.
He was in recovery.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I mean, it probably did affect his job performance because we didn't like him and we didn't think he did a great job. But
because he was a fucking idiot, and it wasn't him running anything. It was Dick Cheney and
yeah, don't even get me started.
And
yeah, the good old days. But at least you knew where they were coming from, right? Like there was no hiding
war, power, and but they were compassionate conservatives, right? Like he was actually trying to work with the border and get, like, they weren't putting people in cages. They weren't riling, even after 9/11. One of the things I'll say to Bush is like, it was in Arizona, I believe, where the Sikh was murdered. And then there was another situation, I believe in Houston or somewhere, where another person who is Muslim was hurt, and he came out and said Muslims are our brothers and sisters. It's never okay to hurt anyone. Like, he wasn't adding to violence within our own country. Yeah. Like there was a certain level of being united. And he stepped up to that instead of having a fucking prick like the last guy we had in the White House, who literally just did. I mean, he was inciting violence. Yeah.
All the time, as a matter of fact, and still does, by the way.
I know, it's horrible.
If you want to hear the extended version of this show or some of our outtakes, go to our Patreon page, which will be listed below. And don't forget to subscribe.